Hey everyone, make sure I get this straight. There we are. So, since TikTok doesn't like my gambling videos, or they frown upon it, whatever, I want to tell you the story of a stock clerk, a retired stock clerk, for a grocery store. I started back in '98, mid-September. After school, high school job. Freshman in high school, little after school gig. When you all start at a grocery store, most of us, we start as a bagger, cart collector, which is what I did for a year. So, I made a lot of friends. A lot of people I went to high school with were working there, so we had like our own little inside joke and clique while we're at school, our little puns and jokes. And, it was good. I liked it. Being a bagger was, just a starting off point, Collecting carts was no big deal. I kept getting yelled at the managers because I kept collecting too many carts at one time. I would do like 20 to 40 carts. Grab like one or two of the other baggers, say, hey, just help me direct this in. And managers are like tearing out their hair. I can't believe you're doing that. I'm like, well, why go back 9 times when I can just do one big shot? Anyways, so you had that sort of idiotic mentality in management back then. So, but it was good. I did that for about a year, like I said, and I'm trying to remember. Also had some elderly positive influences. A lot of retired old guys were baggers too, so I remember one guy, his name was Ron. Excuse me. He was a retired construction worker. Excuse me. And he said that he was one of the gentlemen that was on the World Trade Center project back in, I guess it was the late 60s, early 70s. So when they started building it, I was like, oh, that was cool. He said, yeah, and he said like they would hire Indians to do like the walk across. When they're balancing beams on their shoulder, they would walk across high-rise beams, like 400, 500, 600 feet off the ground. And it was like, he was just telling me how scary that was. And couldn't believe those guys could do it. But hey, they can do it. They can do it. But he passed away along with what's the other gentleman? Ralph. He was a cool bagger. He was an old Italian or Sicilian gentleman. I forgot which it was, but he was real cool. He was, I think he called me Mikulich, which I guess is Italian for Michael. I'm not sure. But there was one other old guy. I think his name was Isaac. He had a weird, like, Bugs Bunny mouth, and when he would laugh, he would, like, chatter, like, so that was him. He was all right. He was just, he was just funny looking, like Steve Buscemi. Anyways, we also had Sydney, who was the mayor of Boca Raton at one time. And he was cool. He always had a cigar in his mouth and he's walking around. Oh, man. I'm trying to remember who else was there. I remember another Chinese lady who was a bagger. I forget what her name was. Moy? Something like that. She was cool, but she was a tip dealer. She knew which customers tipped well, and she would bag for them, so she would scoop up the tips. But, I'm 15 at the time, so yeah, no big deal. But a year goes by, and I put in, my request to be in grocery. Took it like a duck to water. Even the guys I worked with who were, in their mid-20s, 30s, and 40s were like, damn, you knocked that out fast. I'm like, well, it's not that hard. Once you show me where to look for on the box of the item, where the SKU is, to match it to where the UPC is in the spot where the store, yeah, it's not that hard. But as you work, you're not just stocking shelves. You're unloading trucks with a hand jack. Not a power jack or a forklift. You got to do it by yourself with hopefully someone to push behind you. And you're pulling something that weighs around, I don't know, 1,000, 1,500 pounds or more. Just under 2,000 pounds. It probably weighs as much as a little Toyota Camry. We had these things called floats. Some people call them U-boats, but we called them floats. And they were okay. They were just too small. And I guess as you increase in business, you need to have something a little bit longer. But those didn't come till like more than 10 years down the road. I'll talk about that another time. But we only had two kinds of floats. We had like these little shopping cart floats and just the regular U-boat floats. And yeah, that's what we used to, truck product out. Everything came on pallets, or back then, unitizers. Unitizers were like this little shell you put around the pallet, and you connect the back and front with the side chains just to keep it from blossoming like a blooming onion. Those they had for about, I don't know, something they probably had for about maybe 15 years, I want to say, something like that. Now, dairy and frozen and deli department and meat department, all their stuff came on something called birds. They're just big rolling shelving racks that can hold, I don't know, probably maybe around 100 pieces. You can probably stack about half a pallet on one of those things, give or take. So they had those, and we would wheel those with dairy or frozen. Produce came in on pallets, and some on unitizers, but they had their own separate schedule and trucks for that. What else did we used to do back in the day? Oh, do you guys remember that we used to have complimentary coffee and donuts for anyone and everyone who came in the store? Yeah. Bakery department used to leave us their stales that they were going to throw out that night, just for something for us stock clerks and people in the morning to come in to snack on. They did away with that. Like, I want to say 2003-ish, 4, in that area. Yeah. But it was it was real fun back then. We used to play pranks. By the time I was 17, they used to sneak me into a place that's no longer there anymore. It's called Porterhouse. And I was like 17 at the time. And they would make these shots up. They said, "Here, Mikey, try this." It's called a Red Death. Grapefruit, tequila, and something like a fruit punch flavoring too, because it was very red. It was really good. Oh, delicious. And that was their signature shot back then. And yeah, all the old crew, Curtis, Marcella, Maurice, who else was on that? Michelle Michon, Patrick, who else? Oh, it was a whole bunch of people. Miss them dearly, that was your family, away from home, and those guys were great. And ladies too. Oh yeah, there was Zuma, Margie, Giovanna, and Giovanna. They did the HPC houseware stuff. They had 4 people for that job back then. But yeah. So anyways, this is just going to be a mini-sode. I'm going to continue talking about this in the next one that I do, which will hopefully be sometime this week. But I just wanted to, share a little something. And, of course, this place that I'm talking about is Publix. It's a good place then, but not so great now. And we all know why. Well, some of us do. Anyways, till next time, talk to you later.